We are finally here. We limped towards it, but we got to World Finals 5 for Controlled Carnage. We are here, and this track is going to be brutal, as you can see from the screenshot, thumbnail, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of both, because we're lazy. We are here, and in the booth with me at the moment, it is Mr. Angus Johnson. Angus, we are here at World Finals, 19 truck field. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, definitely, for sure. This is a very packed lineup. This also has a lot of firepower to it, as well as a lot of drivers who may definitely be able to pull out some big upsets. But right now, I mean, if you look at some of the qualifying times, we have some really shockingly fast times from drivers that I did not expect to get really this far into the season.
Yeah, and absolutely. With you bringing up qualifying, we can actually talk about it a little bit. We also have Canyon Pruitt, who helped a lot with the qualifying. Canyon, before we read the times, what were a lot of things that you noticed and saw throughout tonight's event? Well, not tonight's event, but throughout qualifying this weekend.
I saw that this track is very slick in certain areas and very tacky in other areas. Just a weird combination.
Absolutely. I mean, this track's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, Canyon. It's going to be a rough one.
Oh, yeah, definitely going to be rough. You got to watch out for those extra obstacles at the end of the ramps, because those could absolutely bite you in the end if you're not too careful.
Absolutely, and actually it did bite one of our drivers, Adam Boyne, earlier in qualifying, earlier this week. He lost a back wheel during qualifying. We saw quite a few rollovers in the turns, too. We had quite a few DNF times happen to some of these drivers.
It's a very tricky track to get around, and honestly, there's some surprising times. We got the other people not qualifying as good, and some people that qualified really well.
Angus,
I was surprised.
Angus, you want to tell the people the times from fastest to our slowest?
Well, let's take a look at that, because let me tell you, we've got some rather shocking ones right now. All right, getting that up. So currently the fastest do come from Tim Clapper in Maximum Destruction, because of course he created the series with qualifying times of 14:07 and 13:91. So second up to that will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Canyon Pruitt. Then after that will be Bad Habit and that old Tefsmer chassis behind the wheel being Aiden Roach, El Toro Loco and Adam Boyne, Fifi Karras and Thrasher, Blue Thunder driven by Ace Racer, Keyshawn Pennyman in the U.S. Air Force Afterburner, Max Halpert and Taz, Chadwick Deerfoot, Cap sandbagging a little bit in Gravedigger, Marcelo Mendoza, one of the best schemes you're going to see tonight in Captain's Curse, Album driving Monster Mutt, yours truly in Mechanical Mischief, Batman and Matthew Hood, Iron Man and driven by Jacob Spatafora, Garrett Hansen driving Grinder, and then ending it off is going to be Backwards Bob driven by Jaden Camerino.
And we do have quite a few other trucks. That might be the first 15, but 4 of them weren't able to get their trucks prepped in time and ready for qualifying. We do have a 19-truck field, but I think the story here, guys, is Gravedigger getting 8th place in qualifying, or 9th place in qualifying. Kind of interesting that our most dominant racer was not our fastest.
Well, he was having a bit of a struggle at this track. I think he's still trying to figure out some bugs. Of course, this track is very different to what we've been going after quite throughout the season. I mean, of course, you're looking at a lot of wide turns, a lot of fast straights. And while there are fast straights here, there are no wide turns at all. In fact, this is probably some of the tightest turns we're going to see this season.
Absolutely. We have a lot of drivers to get to, Angus. So our first guy, we're going to have that drone fly over to him. We've got Mr. Aiden Roach in Bad Habit, your 3rd fastest qualifier. Aiden, it has been such a pleasure to watch you throughout this season tear it up, and you're our 3rd fastest. What are your thoughts coming in tonight at World Finals 5 with all these fans?
Well, placing 2nd, tied with Mechanical Mischief after this crazy series, being a rookie, I'm pretty nervous. But qualifying has really boosted my confidence, honestly. And hey, you already know for freestyle, this truck is not going to be in one piece by the end of it. I'm going to make sure of that. So even if I go out round 1 racing, I can still say I qualified pretty good, and I'm going to tear it up for freestyle.
Angus, you got any questions for our man Aiden? Whew.
Well, Aiden, both of us, like you just said, we were rookies, but at the same time, we both absolutely dominated. What do you think you're going to have to do, though, if you want to make sure that we can take those guys off the top side?
Oh, I'm going to absolutely send this thing through the air, and hopefully it stays on all four wheels. If not, we'll try to get it back on all four wheels. So I guarantee you there's going to be some wicked saves out there. This track is treacherous. Not everyone's going to live through the full time, and I just think, honestly, filling time is going to be key tonight.
I mean, we kind of look at chassis like this. Of course, this is an old chassis from the 90s, and one thing a lot of people forget is this thing was pretty dominant in racing. And I think considering the qualifying times, and with a guy like you behind the wheel, there's no doubt that that is still the same to say today.
Oh, I have no doubt about it in my mind. I'm going to be absolutely slinging this thing down Thunder Alley tonight.
Well, one more time for your World Finals competitor, Aiden Roach, Bad Habit.
And guys, we got to get on to our next interview guy here. I think he's got one of the best schemes. I don't know if he's here yet, ready for it. If we want to see, is Garrett Hansen here to talk about it potentially?
Let me hop in the server real quick.
All right, he's going to hop in. Angus, another guy we need to talk about, though, as he's getting his truck pulled out. The fans were loving it during pit party, dude. Grinder.
Oh, yeah, especially some of the old school fans. You guys may notice this is a pretty retro body style. A much older Ford kind of takes us back to the old Panda Point series days. And I think that's what a lot of people like about this truck. It's very nostalgic.
Absolutely. And I mean, dude, when they revealed this paint scheme, the fans started cheering and hollering. It looks bad fast. And he was looking pretty okay in qualifying, but Angus, I think we know the real reason Garrett's here. It's because of his freestyle performances. He had the first one in the season, El Toro Loco, in St. Louis. He tore it up, and now getting the privilege to drive the people's truck, as they call it, Grinder.
And not only that, but here's one thing you might notice about the body. If you actually look, this is one of the only ones, okay, well, second to Gravedigger, that has some functioning headlights, not only in the front, but also some functioning taillights in the back, so that no matter what, you will always see this thing going down Thunder Alley.
We're going to get Garrett out here. Garrett, the floor is yours, man. Grinder, black scheme with the old body. What was the thought process going behind this?
I was trying to figure out what body to run because I didn't want to run the F-150. I just wanted to be different. And so I was in a call with some guys. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in World Finals. Well, basically everybody's going to be in World Finals. I don't know what body to run. What do you guys think? And somebody suggested the OBS Ford. And I was looking around, and I found a OBS Ford that the Bigfoot guys that ran it back in the Penda days, and I slapped it on his chassis, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely the body I'm gonna run, and it's gonna be tore up.
And Garrett, there is some chitter chatter that potentially next season we see this body for the full season, but with a bit of a different color scheme to it, potentially.
I also heard this exact same thing, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind running this body because, man, everybody really loves this body, not just the fans, but all the drivers are saying, yeah, this is probably the best World Finals body and scheme they have seen.
I would agree. I think it looks spectacular. Angus, do you got any questions for Garrett coming into World Finals tonight, man?
Well, Garrett, we've seen a lot of dominance from you in freestyle, especially with some of the freestyle victories. You got the first freestyle win of the season, and then you got the last freestyle win of the season. It makes you wonder, what are you going to do to take on this treacherous freestyle track?
The biggest thing for me is filling the clock and not doing something stupid on your first hit. You just gotta, plan out your whole run and not try to, go too big too early, and yeah, you just gotta ride out the clock. Like I said, you just gotta fill the time and keep going big and be cautious.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. This is going to be one of the most treacherous tracks. Like I said, absolute truck killer. But let's also talk about racing. You also seem pretty confident within your racing passes. What do you think you're going to have to do if you want to make sure you can get down that track safely?
The biggest thing I found is taking that final corner, because if you take that corner way too wide, you'll just slide out and probably go into the dumpster over there and try not to do it funny. But if I get past the first round, I will be quite shocked, to be honest with you.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, once again, give it up for your next freestyle, or not just freestyle, but also racing World Finals competitor, Garrett Hansen in Grinder.
Now, I think the next guy we need to talk to, he's talked a little bit earlier, talking about racing. It's our man Canyon Pruitt, driving, not Gravedigger, but TMNT on a Willman chassis. A lot of talk there because he ended up being our second fastest in TMNT in a chassis that he's not really driven at all this season.
I think this is going to be interesting because I know he wasn't really a big fan of that GD19. He felt that it just wasn't doing him well. So I think now he's got a bit of a new change of pace, and I think it's going to do pretty well for him. I mean, he's a bit of an aggressive freestyler, and this truck can hold up on literally anything.
Absolutely, and we're gonna get back there and let y'all take a beautiful look at this truck. I mean, it looks really good on the Willman body. Because I remember there was potential talk of him running it on his 19 chassis, but I think at the end of the day they made the right call in getting this on that Willman chassis. And we're gonna talk to Canyon. Canyon, second fastest out here. You've been dominant before. I think you did you make the World Finals main field last season, or you just missed it?
I just missed it, unfortunately. Couldn't quite, qualify in. We tried to qualify. We tried to do it through the Young Guns or the Double Down Showdown, but unfortunately fell a little bit short. But yeah, no, honestly, this has been a little bit of an interesting change in development. Actually, when we came in here, we were going to put the GD body, we were going to put the TMNT body on the Gravedigger 20, but 19, sorry, but Chadwick's like, hey, we might need to use that for something later on tonight. So I kind of want to save that. So yeah, so Chadwick wanted to use 19 for something in the later on tonight. So apparently, I don't know what it's gonna be, but hey, we're gonna rock this oldest truck here too. This is the oldest truck here, I think.
1999, right? I believe. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest trucks here, and I'm just here. I got the second fastest qualifying time, and I'm hoping to burn it down here.
I gotta ask, switching from a mid-engine to this old pile, what do you like so much about this truck compared to what you drove kind of the whole season?
I mean, I just like the I think the leaning aspect of it, because this thing doesn't have sway bars as my 19 truck had. Honestly, the lean, just being fast all night, I don't know. It's just a Willman truck. Maybe it's something of last year's last season quarter 2. I ran Max D, and I did really well in that. So maybe I was just coming full circle in this.
Absolutely. Well, Angus, you have any questions for our man Canyon here, as he is hoping to dominate in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Well, Canyon, like I said before, you really felt like you weren't a big fan of that GD19 chassis. How do you feel driving this chassis, something that is a bit stronger, something that can definitely hold up a little bit longer when it comes to freestyle tracks like this?
I mean, I've been taking it for a few hits here and there just to test out some ramps, to see how everything, hits. This thing has held up to the abuse. I don't think I've had very little problems with it. And I've had nothing but good luck, obviously, as qualifying has happened.
Well, no doubt about it. Let's hear it for your next World Finals competitor, Canyon Pruitt in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Tim, there, buddy.
I apologize, folks.
You're fine.
To Las Vegas, and it took our Uber driver a second to get here. Anyways, we're good. Our next guy I would love to talk to is the one and only. He's everybody's teammate at this rate, when you really think about it. It's Adam Yixie, Keyshawn, driving Air Force. And Angus, you had a lot of help in designing this body, man.
Oh, no doubt about it. If you are a fan of the 80s and the 90s, you may recognize this scheme that's coming out into the pits right now. Of course, if you're a Tom Cruise fan especially. But not only that, but we're flying 2 big flags in honor of the late, great Val Kilmer, who played the Iceman in the movie Top Gun. You'll notice the rest of the scheme paying tribute to Mr. Pete Mitchell, codenamed Maverick. It, of course, a design entirely themed after that iconic helmet he wore in the movie. And I gotta say, it is definitely a design that has fit his personality very well.
Angus, I'll let you ask the questions, considering you helped this man paint the truck. Go ahead, Angus. Ask our boy Adam how he's feeling here tonight.
Well, Keyshawn, you're a guy who's normally known to drive these Benz chassis, but as we've seen from some of your freestyles this year, you seem to be good with almost anything, which makes me ask the question, what are you going to do going into the competition tonight?
Man, I'm just gonna go out there, do my usual, burn the truck down to the ground. I'm just trying to be a little bit consistent, but lately I haven't really been up to pace with being consistent. So I'm just here putting a show for the fans, showing off this beautiful Air Force body right here, and just ready to compete and try to win something.
Now, one thing you did tell me before the event started was you are going to make sure this body does not come back in one piece. So my question is, what are you going to do to make sure that this body is shredded by the end of it?
Go big. I'll put any of these jumps here on this freestyle obstacles because I know all these jumps are going to be big air. It's just going to be an air show here. My truck name is U.S. Air Force, so I'm just going to send this truck flying and destroying the body even more.
Well, everybody being called back to Top Gun, it is Keyshawn Pennyman in U.S. Air Force Afterburner.
So, Angus, after hearing that first drivers, a lot of confidence in freestyle and racing, but there also seems to be a bit of worry with how this track's going to be looking. I'm noticing. Because, again, this track, I think these are the biggest ramps we've ever seen.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this is... I mean, when it came to us kind of practicing this track, we were kind of seeing what ramps are we going to hit, what ramps can we not hit. There were definitely a lot of moments where if you hit it the wrong way, you can destroy your truck early.
Absolutely. I mean, we have our other tech official here, Canyon. I know we just talked to you, but what do you think went into the design process of these jumps?
I'm not for sure, honestly. These track designers, I don't know what we gave them or what they were on, but man, these obstacles can absolutely tear up a truck.
Absolutely. I mean, these obstacles are huge. We're going to take a look at the track, but before we get to that, Canyon, I'm going to have you stay in the booth with me because I think the next guy we need to talk to, man, it's the one and only Angus Johnson, the guy who created a lot of these pieces, and a lot of fans loved the little nod that he put on his Mechanical Mischief for World Finals here.
Absolutely, this is a beautiful, beautiful design here. This Budweiser, I believe, right? Yes,
Yeah.
Budweiser. This is a beautiful design from Angus Johnson. So yeah,
Angus,
wow.
I'm down here on the track with you in this wild-looking Mechanical Mischief. I did not expect you to play second place in points at this. At the end of the series for the Stadium Tour 1, how are you feeling coming into World Finals?
Oh, I feel confident. Let me tell you about this scheme real quickly, though. Back in the 80s, this scheme ran under some Chevrolet Camaros and Trans Am, driven by both Willie T. Ribbs and David Hobbs. Nobody expected this thing to be so dominant back then until one race in Las Vegas, where Willie T. Ribbs led every single lap to get a major victory in that car. And that's exactly why I ran this scheme today. Nobody expected me to be so dominant, but hey, look where I am. I placed second in my own point series. And that's exactly why this scheme resonates with me so much. But to answer your question right there, I think without a doubt, this is a truck that isn't really the best with a track like this. I'm going to need to be a bit more careful, but at the same time, I'm also going to need to take some risks.
You know, I think that's going to be the biggest thing for you is taking some risks. Angus, with these jumps, they are huge.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this truck, I mean, it was taking the punishment of a lifetime during all the practice sessions, during the qualifying passes. It was definitely hurt, but we managed to give it the tender, loving care it deserved before tonight's event. And I think it is definitely ready to give all these drivers a run for their money.
Well, Angus, we did have a bit of extra time off to really make sure these drivers were tuned in with their trucks to get the best performance possible. I mean, we've been off. You think there's going to be some rust on some of these drivers?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it has been, a month since a lot of these guys competed. I mean, they were focused on other leagues. They were focused on doing stuff in the outside world. They may not have been thinking about it as much, but I think after the qualifying sessions, they definitely have got their groove back. They definitely got their mojo back. And I think that's going to be that motivation that'll keep them going on throughout this night.
All right, so thanking, guys, our next guy we're going to get in the booth here in just a moment. It's going to be Mr. Matthew Hood, our Batman driver. We'll get him in just a second. Our next guy we're going to talk to is Matthew Hood. Another new body. Dude, Angus, this body looks wicked. I love it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it really resonates with a lot of the current day fans of Batman, especially with movies like The Dark Knight or Batman Begins. And I think that's exactly the point of this truck, to really resonate with those new fans.
Matthew, you're here at World Finals. Qualifying went okay. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. How are you feeling coming into this track, man? This track is looking tough.
You know, I'm not that big of a racer, so, you know, I wasn't really too surprised about it, but, you know, I put up a decent pass, so we'll see how racing goes. I haven't looked at the bracket yet. I have no clue who I'm facing up against, but if I could put up, like, at least a really good pass, even if I lose, it's going to be fine the way it is for me. I'm more of a good freestyle than a good racer.
Well, I mean, if you're more of a freestyler, let's talk about this freestyle track, man. It looks big.
I will tell you, I wanted to send this thing, but I want to take things a little easy to start things off, so I don't break way too early. And if my truck stays well, expect this body to probably be crushed by the end of the night.
Man, this brand new body too, Angus. This was an expensive body for us to get him to roll out here. It's looking dangerous.
This cost over $750,000 to make.
Holy cow. That's the most expensive body I've ever heard in my life.
And that's all the decals, paint, stickers, everything.
Well, I mean, those are chrome decals, so I understand. And that big bat logo on the back, man. You think if that falls off and stays intact, you might give it to a fan in the crowd?
Hey, it can go up, it can go to a fan, or we're putting it up for like a off-season show up for sale.
All right, Angus, you got any questions for our boy Matthew Hood and Batman?
Well, Matthew, you've had some pretty good highlights so far, and you've definitely become a fan favorite. What are you going to do to make sure those fans can stay on your side tonight?
Get some good momentum, and as long as I can keep that at consistent pace, man, the fans are going to be excited for what is to come for tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, protecting Gotham City, it is Matthew Hood in Batman.
Our next guy we need to talk to, Angus, it's your Stadium Series 2 points champion, Max Halper and Taz. Max, a lot of hype from you getting that series win, and now you're here at World Finals. How are you feeling coming into this treacherous track?
Honestly, I feel like even though I didn't really pull out a win in San Antonio, we were able to lock up the points there. I'm glad that we could come into Vegas with this much momentum. I feel like it's the most momentum I've come into a World Finals with in this tour. And, we didn't quite qualify where we wanted to for racing. Freestyle track, I mean, once you guys see that track, you're going to see just how big and treacherous it's going to be. But as long as we can try to find out where we're losing speed, just maybe buckle down, tighten up those turns, we can try and make a run at it tonight.
Hey, you got any questions for our guy Max coming into racing and freestyle here?
Well, Max, you have been an absolute threat on your Stadium Series, and not just from winning the points championship, but also just from all the victories, all the highlights. You were definitely a fan favorite. What are you going to make sure to, or what are you going to do to make sure that you don't lose that mojo tonight?
I feel like we got a really good piece of equipment under us. This Taz on this Cohen chassis has been running so strong this season. We've been able to keep it together for the most part. And when it hasn't been able to hold together, it's at least come at the right time. We were able to walk away with back-to-back freestyle wins, with two of my best runs I feel like I've had in this tour. So I feel like if I could just, run my own races, keep my head in the game, not really worry about who I'm racing against, just, keep my head in it, focus on my own goals, I feel like I could lock it down. Freestyle, on the other hand, this truck is not leaving here in one piece. I am going to make sure that if it's 30 seconds, it's the best 30 seconds that you've ever seen, or if it's 2 minutes, that I'm putting up a championship caliber run. No doubt about it.
Wow.
Without doubt, I mean, this is the last event of the season. One more time for your Stadium Series 2 champion, Max Halpert in Taz.
And before we just take the mic from Max, I'm hearing some rumors this might be the last time you run under the name Taz. Is this true?
Well, I mean, whatever opportunities await us, if there's other teams that are a little bit more savvy that can, make some sort of noise, make some sort of offer. I'm very happy with this Taz machine. I mean, we've been running it strong all season. We were able to get a series championship out of it, so who knows? Maybe we'll run it back. Maybe we'll explore some new opportunities. We'll just have to see where the winds blow.
All right, well, with that being said, Angus, we're going to try getting our next guy in here. Max Halpert in Taz. We are here with your Stadium Series 1 Point Series champion, Chadwick Deerfoot. Angus, Max, this guy was the most dominant force in Stadium Series 1. Pretty much ran away with the points by, the 5th event? He was done. He finished in
Yeah.
first. Chadwick, you're here at World Finals. Qualifying didn't go quite your way. How are you feeling coming into the event, though?
I'm feeling all right. Yeah, I wish qualifying could have gone a little bit better, but that was more on me than it was the truck. Been running a PEI in another league, and it'd been a big, sizable break from this one, so I had to get back used to this truck again. So, made some more practice laps. I'm feeling a little bit better, and we'll give it our best shot for the event tonight, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, Chadwick, besides World Finals 4, you are, from World Finals 3, a prior racing champion in Carolina Crusher. Now here in Gravedigger, are you going to try repeating that same success and getting another racing win, or are you a little bit more focused on this freestyle track? Because, man, these ramps are huge.
Freestyle is going to be pretty much Russian roulette, because with how the ramps are, anybody could win this thing. Anybody could break off the very first hit. Being a former racing champion, as I've said many times over, racing is my priority, and I'd like to get another one under my belt. The title in Carolina Crusher was a big surprise. I didn't expect it, because we weren't even supposed to be there. This time around, there's a lot of expectations because of how I did in the season, how I've done prior seasons, especially last year with Excalibur. So, if I could get either one, it'd be good. But the big thing is I'm just going to try to go out there and do my best. And if we walk away with a win, then great. If not, I'm at least going to give a good accounting of myself and make sure these guys work for it.
Well, Chadwick, I do got to let you know that your first race is against your Stadium Series 2 Point Series champion. You think there's going to be high tensions, considering he technically is a part of the Gravedigger Camp team?
We always kind of figured it might happen, that at some point we'd meet up during the racing bracket. I didn't think it was going to be round 1, but that's just how it shakes out. Let the better digger driver win. That's all I can say. Is we'll both give it our best, and we'll see where the chips fall.
All right, Chad. Well, thank you. We look forward to seeing you try to continue the dominant success you've had here at World Finals. Let's see what you can do, man.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with one of the greatest drivers of all time, quote unquote. He's in that beautiful men's chassis. It is Mr. Tim Clapper in Maximum Destruction. Tim, you've had a bit of an up and down season so far. What can you say about tonight's track, though?
Well, we were looking really good in practice. We ended up with the fastest qualifying time, which I'm kind of shocked about. We're trying to run a different style of truck here tonight. I mean, it's the same chassis, but we tuned how it works and how the tires are. I mean, we've got bead locks in the back, no bead locks in the front. Trust me, that'll change in freestyle. I'm not that stupid. But we had a lot of up and down success in the normal series. We got close to quite a few freestyle wins. Racing, we got pretty far, which I haven't been able to do in like 5 seasons. So hopefully tonight we can really try to show that we can race and maybe make it to the finals, maybe come out with a win. But freestyle, man, that track looks scary.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk about the name Maximum Destruction. A lot of your runs have been very destructive this season. Are you going to try and go with that destructive driving style this time around tonight?
I mean, we're here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's not like we wouldn't, but with how big these jumps are, we're going to try going destructive, but we might be a little bit more reserved than usual. But, I mean, at the end of the day, depending on how racing goes and how we're feeling by the time that I'm strapped in, I'm going last out. Depending on what these drivers do, I might have to come out and just throw caution to the wind and go for it. And, I mean, if the truck holds up, it holds up. If it doesn't, I'm going to keep running until the drive shafts are falling out or the engine's exploded. I mean, we're going to do our best here.
Well, one more time for your next World Finals competitor, Tim Clapper, Maximum Destruction.
Alrighty, folks. Our last guy we're going to interview tonight, it is the Built for Tough sponsorship man, Ace Racer in Blue Thunder. Ace, you got put into Blue Thunder kind of late, but you did drive El Torco. You're now in the sponsorship truck. You had pretty good success in the series when you joined. How are you feeling coming in here in the World Finals?
Actually, I think I feel like I could do really good in World Finals. I tend to do a lot better in World Finals events than the regular events. And definitely, I think I could do well here in racing. I've been getting like some times around like the 15 to 14, some. So I think I got a shot.
Ace, you got any question for him?
Well, Ace, like you and I mean, we are both rookies, and we both came in here and dominate. What are you going to do to make sure that a newcomer can take it away from the veterans?
Well, just let's see how the calls play out, because I know in freestyle, no, it's just kind of depends. It's like a strategy around coming inside. I know what to do inside freestyle. In racing, it's just you gotta make sure you play your calls right. And I know Will to go and use the brakes on racing, so it's just the matter of getting to the corner, getting to the turns, and just hope the other driver doesn't just go slow.
Oh, for sure. Well, one more time for your World Finals competitor, Ace Racer, Blue Thunder.
Alrighty, folks. That's going to wrap up interviews for the drivers. The next portion is going to be taking a look at this track, Max Angus. This track, now that we're finally going to be able to show it here, my goodness, this track. Max, I'm going to ask you first because you've been through. Me and you've been through many events at World Finals, but this track might be some of the biggest ramps we've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite a few of them are taller than the trucks themselves. They're very big. They're very daunting. It's going to take a lot of driver awareness and just a lot of, carefully calculated cautiousness to be able to try and fill your time out here, because there's so many different faces that if you just go a little too big, your truck is going to wind up in two pieces, no problem. Like, there's so many different faces that you have to worry about, especially that big double the big poker double with the cards on top. It's going to be a big factor tonight. I feel like we're going to see some amazing moves off of that. See a lot of crashes. We got the big step-up fountain jump tradition for the World Finals in the middle. And that other big double car stack that you saw at World Finals on the World Finals 10 track, but we got this track here. And it looks a little steeper, and I think it's going to be conducive to some pretty big air.
Absolutely. Angus, what are your thoughts on this track coming here tonight for World Finals?
Well, I said it a little bit earlier. A lot of these jumps, they're very, very dangerous. Just being a slight angle off could end your run early, could even end your career early if you hit hard enough. So this is definitely going to be one of those tracks you're going to have to be careful, you're going to have to be collected, you're going to have to really think, how am I going to take down this track? But when it comes to racing, like a lot of drivers say, you just got to make it or break it. You just got to take it. You just got to take that risk of going as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think you summed it up really well. I mean, this track is going to be quite the dangerous. I have a feeling it's going to be a track against the drivers, and I have a bad feeling, guys, that the track's going to have a lot of wins here against these drivers. I mean, these ramps are huge, and it's going to be interesting. But, folks, that's going to be the pre-show. Don't go wait. Keep your eyes out. We're going to start the show here in about 8 minutes. We just got to go over driver's meeting, and we'll get to you in just a moment.